The following is rated F for fairness. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Anil Show.
So I've left this up because Skitland tends to have a way of one to always dabble, and toe the line when it comes to, this whole marriage thing with Amber and Anthony. But if they are using the Georgia law, which sometimes them dabble into Georgia, then come out of Georgia, let me just say again, and this is from Lund Law LLC, okay? Georgia is an equitable distribution state, which means that marital property is divided fairly, but not necessarily equally between the spouses in divorce. Fairly, but not equitably. Fairly, but not equitably. So this is going to tie into the content we're getting into right now, because the question is, what are you entitled to? Let's get into it right now.
Yo, thank you. Yeah. This man, he makes me so angry. Like, he tries to get under my skin.
Push your buttons.
Yeah. Talking about, I need to just go back to my poor little life. First of all,
Well, have you told them why he's trying to get under your skin, Amber? You can't make it look as though love that. Let's be very, very fair though. You go out every single night and you go sleep with another man. Nobody at all in their right mind is going to allow you to do this without complaining. That's all I'm saying. Just make sure you're talking in context, but she's not talking in context to Daniel. She's just giving Daniel one side of the story.
I ain't never been poor. And I told him, if I go back to my poor little life, I am taking half of everything. Try me if you want to. Like,
You're entitled.
exactly. That's what I...
Boom. You're entitled. So let's go again back to what the Georgia law just said. If it is we're using Georgia law, or is it Skit law, which is exactly why we call her a Temu lawyer, because basically she represents none of the states. So for those who don't understand why we say the lawyer is Skitland lawyer, because if you're using Georgia law, we're going to clock you on whatever Georgia says. If you say you're using California law, we're going to clock you on what California says. We're going to argue with you on that. If you say you want to use South Carolina law, we're going to clock you on the law. Whatever one of the 52 states you want to, if you even want to use Hawaii law, we will research it and we're going to clock you on what it says and we're going to ask questions. That's why we call the lawyer the Temu lawyer, because the truth of the matter is, we don't know what state she's talking about. We don't. Now, again, Sister Daniel says that, she's entitled. Entitled to what? Entitled to a fair distribution, if it is that we're talking about Georgia law. If we're not talking about Georgia law, then we're talking about something else.
said. I mean, he really thinks I'm just supposed to walk away with nothing after everything he's done to me. He got it.
I can't believe he said that to you.
I'm sorry, I couldn't not say anything. I mean, come on, Amber. That's that man's hard-earned money. You just think you're entitled to it because y'all were together? How I don't understand how that works. Yes,
Ken, don't start.
all right.
Not today, okay?
I had every plan of not starting, but then I just heard you talking about my friend's hard-earned money, like somehow you earned it.
I'm sorry.
That's not what she said.
Yeah, and did your friend tell you how he went broke at one point? Huh? And how I helped him recuperate his hard-earned money? Did he?
I need to know how much money did Amber help Anthony recuperate. I'm going to have to research this because people keep bringing this line up. Amber is not bringing the line itself up. I want to know how much money it is that, she helped him to recuperate. Don't worry, I'm going to be on it. I'm going to have to do some research on this because we'll have to talk about this recuperation of funds.
Tell you that, but Ken,
No, okay.
Lord, you need to mind your business, honestly.
This is my house. I just heard you talking about my friend, so I thought.
Bingo, it's his house. Don't bother with it, Amber fans. She's in his house, okay? So, and yay, if you're in my house and you're talking about something, I can talk to you. Don't bother with it, because I know how to work. When I come out of the woodwork and start telling O'Neill, oh, well, Ben should put... Well, it's my house. And as long as you're in my house, I do have the right to address you. If you do not want to talk to me, then you need to do that outside of the house. But this is Ben's house. And so he's allowed to get on Amber's back about whatever is going on right here. So he's allowed because she's in his house. It's called a spade a spade.
I'd come in and just be like, hey, you know what? You are a capable woman that you can probably earn the money yourself without having to take it from
It does beg to be said that when a woman marries a man, she puts all of her emotion and all of her empathy and all of herself behind him. So I'm serious.
No, I get it. I get it.
Hold on. I like this conversation because my question is, so are you saying then that when a man marries a woman, him don't put all of the energy and all of the empathy and all of whatever Daniel is talking about behind the woman as well? You see, this where it's a very, very tricky, a slippery slope, you know. That's why it's best to just use what the courts have as your deciding factor, because it is tough when you come to a topic like this, because people start to try to develop them own, you know, what you call now, their own split in them head as to what exactly it should be. But I can, you see why law is necessary now, because the truth of the matter is, what do you mean, you know, your own empathy and everything else? You don't think men put in empathy as well? When a man gets married to a woman, he puts in the same empathy and time. He put in the same energy. In fact, a lot of times men even put in more, because I have to go to work more than not. No, if the woman works, that's something different. You understand? Because the dynamics change. What I'm saying is that there's no one size fit all. That's kind of what I'm saying. So to make it seem like that's what it is quite facetious. That's all it is.
She is entitled. She went through that marriage and everything that he put her through. And you know what? Honestly, you want to like get a drink? I'm like, this was a private conversation. I don't understand why we can't
I thought
just
he
talk.
was gone. I didn't even know he was here.
Sorry.
I thought he was working.
Mercy parade there, but I wasn't gonna say it. I was just gonna stay back there, but it just, you know, hey, you know what? Don't listen to me. Just go after my friend's money. I'll make sure he knows to.
Ben!
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Ken!
Yeah.
Please.
It's Ben.
It's Ken.
You call me whatever you
No, it's for sure Ken.
Why can't I just have a friend over? I can't have a friend and a husband?
Girl, he is... I don't know. I don't understand how you married to that.
He's not.
How is she married to what? The man is asking a good question. Amber, answer the question. The question is why you think you're entitled to it. And you say, you know, but no, Amber is saying why she thinks she's entitled to the funds is because she has helped Anthony. That is something that I want to research with the audience, because we have to actually get into this. I'm going to have to bring some receipts on this to see how much money has Amber invested, because I keep hearing about this extensive money as though this is the catalyst into why Anthony is the mogul that he is now. I'm not saying it probably don't help toward, you know, you contributing some amount of monies, but you know, it is crazy. It is crazy, but it is something I want to look into.
Always like that.
Really?
Things have been
Because
really
every
bad.
time I see him lately, he's just on one.
But lately,
I used to think he was a nice guy.
he is.
Is he though? Really? Is he?
He is a nice guy. I don't know what's going on.
That's a little strong. But
Yeah.
I need it strong. Girl, oh,
That is
yes,
not
babe.
okay that he said
Listen,
that.
from now on, we need to go out and talk, not here.
Good. You need to talk on the outskirts of whatever it is. So that's why it's okay. So this is a very good question for us here, friends. Are you entitled, or how much do you think you're entitled to in a divorce? What do you think you're entitled to? Is it a fair split, or is it a split that you come up with? That is the question I have to the audience. What are you entitled to? Are you entitled to a fair split? Or are you entitled to the portion that you have come up with? Very, very interesting question. But yes, if we were to go to Georgia law, which sometimes them play Georgia law, sometimes a different type of law. If it's Georgia law, right? Tell the Temu lawyer this. So when the Temu lawyer come back on screen again, so Amber's Temu lawyer, when they come back on screen again, if you're using Georgia law, I'm speaking out there to you. If you're using Georgia law, the people them say a fair distribution, fair, not necessarily fair, not necessarily equal, but fair, because it is an equitable state. Now, unless we're slow and we're not interpreting things correctly, that don't necessarily mean equal. In other words, it can be an 80-20 split on the marital assets and on what you can argue. So, somebody tag the Temu lion this. She's going to come out and cuss out on you. Give me a take on this one. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to y'all soon.